wasn't big.
So one of the things that I always advise entrepreneurs not to do when they're bootstrapping is to take seed funding from family. Now, it seems so natural because you've got an idea, the idea is pretty raw, and family's not going to invest in the idea, they're going to invest in you, which is what you want. You've got passion, you've got ambition, you want them to invest in you. It's an easy trap to fall into. But here's the problem. If you take that seed money from family, you've got to value the business. And chances are pretty good, without much of an idea, it's tough to come up with a valuation. So here's what ends up happening. You take that valuation, let's say $10,000 for 10% of the company. A year later, you're doing great. You've got $1 million organization. You want to go back for more funding. So you go back to family. What does family say? Sure, we'll give you another $10,000 for another 10%. Well, you don't want $10,000 for 10%. Now you want $100,000 for 10%. And to grow, you need that $100,000. Family doesn't get it. They're not savvy investors. So you bring on board savvy investors, and what are they going to tell you? We got to get rid of the family. We don't want dysfunctional family relationships. We want to buy them out. So let's say that happens, and your family gets bought out for $20,000. They're pretty happy. They made twice their investment. But a few years later, you really begin to take off. And suddenly, your $1 million company is worth $10 or $100 million. And the investors are cashing in big. You're cashing in. What happens to the family? They're going to look and say, hey, you know what? We had 10% of this company. What happened to us? We got the short end of the deal. And you know what? They're going to feel that way no matter what. So my advice for seed capital, be very careful. Stay away from family. Later on, when you have a valuation for the business, if you want to take care of family, set up a trust, set up a fund, set aside some equity that they can participate in once the valuation has actually been established. But don't do that with seed funding. It ends up being very messy, does not turn out well. The reality is you want to break from your business. Family should be a refuge. They should support you. Certainly you want their support, but you know, mixing up the two can end up creating headaches that you just don't need.